Good evening. It's the 27th of March out there, and it's time to have a show about what's going on. Usually I try to stick to local topics. We don't have to go into national news. I picked up my local newspaper, the Northwest Florida Daily News. Now, they won't cover anything about corruption or anything anybody's got any proof of. But the headline the other day was Community in an Uproar. You know what they were in uproar about? They were in uproar about DeSantis. That they were so concerned was you know, it was the transgender community and all that kind of mess in an uproar. LBGQ, whatever they want to call themselves. I can't keep up with it. Whatever's correct. The gay community, I don't know. I don't care which one to call it. Anyway, the non-heterosexual community. But here's my issue. They were in an uproar. Listen, that's not a concern that you're in an uproar. Because let's talk about what they're in an uproar. They're uproar over DeSantis' what they call the Don't Say Gay bill. Well, that ain't what it is. It says it's inappropriate and the parents aren't around. And it started with a K through 3, kindergarten through 3rd grade, that you're not going to talk about sexual orientation. And the community is in an uproar. I don't give a shit. Those are children. And you know what else, community? Most of us voters out here, believe it or not, we were kids too. And we were on the playground. Let me tell you, in kindergarten through 3rd grade, I didn't meet any kids out on the playground or at school that were confused which bathroom to go to. Never happened. Now, there's a lot of questions out there on the ball field. Somebody even said, kids are honest. That's when they taught us that somebody took a crap in the kids' bathroom. They're like, yeah, Bobby did it. Yeah, they don't hold nothing back. But never once as a kid did somebody come up and say, hey, you sure you don't want to whack your penis off and pretend you're a girl? Can you imagine what a kid thinks about stuff like that? They shouldn't even be thinking about things like that. It takes an adult who wants kids not to be kids to be thinking. Those questions didn't come out. There wasn't no little boy and little girl out there in the field looking down each other's pants going, you sure you want that on you? You sure you want to be an innie? You sure you want to be an outie? Whack that off, put some lipstick on. We just didn't have those problems. Look, sexual orientation is an adult issue. If that's what you want to do as an adult, that's fine. But this forced cheerleading of what you do for your own sexcapades, America-wide, is ridiculous. Now listen, lots of heterosexual men like women. Believe it or not, out there, lesbian, there's a lot of men that like women too, and we don't get a special holiday or tax break. And believe it or not, gay men, there's a lot of women out there that got a good use for a man besides him being in the community. So we don't give a shit that you're in an uproar about it. I like DeSantis' stand that we've had enough of that woke bullshit, and certainly children don't need them exposed to it. You want to expose them to something in the schools? Expose them to the Constitution. Expose them to the Pledge of Allegiance. Expose them to doing the right thing, not wondering which bathroom to go to or if we need a new one. Look, we don't need a holiday for it either, and I'm not proud of anybody for coming out. Hey, look, I like women. We got Biden's lesbian press secretary. She was offended. She was so offended by it. Well, you're not offended by all the bullshit going on in Washington, but you're offended by somebody not allowed to talk about sexual orientation with K through 3. Look, we could end all this discussion. It's just the choice of adults. And really, I don't care who you sleep with. Just quit forcing me to accept it as normal. I don't think it is. You don't get a holiday. You shouldn't get a tax break. And there's no big deal about liking something that men and women have liked for years. You just happen to like the same gender, but we just don't have these issues out on the playground. We don't need them. And I'm going to tell you something else. I'm just going to go ahead and say, if I got to pick between Trump and DeSantis, I'm picking DeSantis. Now, I love Trump policies, but I do not like this as a conservative, seeing Trump and Getz attacking my governor, because we all know in Florida here, if it hadn't been for DeSantis, half of you people out there in small business would have lost your damn business. Democrats too. He's one of the few people that stood up to foolishness. Now, he protected the elderly in places that needed it, but he knew better about some of this bullshit. And I don't like seeing Trump come after, or Getz for that matter. As a matter of fact, I'm going to read something that Matt Getz said. Now, Matt, you're our congressman, and you've done a lot of things that we like, but I ain't none too proud of you coming after him like this, because if he beats Trump fair and square in the primary, that's fine. But why would we attack our own? It's just our own people. And these are people that supported DeSantis. I'll tell you, I just don't like this at all. This is something that bothers me about what Matt said about DeSantis. I don't want to get it wrong because Matt might chew me out, and that's fine. Everybody that watches my show knows that I'm not scared to criticize people I've supported, but I'm definitely criticizing this because, Matt, you made some promises to us that we had problems in our district, and we're proud of what you've done and some of the stuff you've done in D.C., but you sure haven't kept your word to us here, because here's what you said about DeSantis. This is no time for amateurs or impersonators or understudies. A, he's not an amateur, Matt. He has the same degree you have, a Juris Doctor. You've only been in Congress so long, and before that, you were a lawyer. Governor DeSantis served in the military. He had a commission. And he served U.S. SOCOM and SOCOM teams and SEALs that require the highest level of integrity to even get in there, and the highest level of background scrutiny. And I'm going to tell you something about the special operations community. They understand what the word team means and doing the right thing, even when it's hard. So we don't need to be questioning. And I'm going to tell you, DeSantis was no amateur the way he handled COVID and the rest of the country. And he kept Florida where we need to be, and that's why everybody's coming here. So I don't think you should be doing that, Matt. DeSantis is no amateur, and he's got a lot of class. I like Trump policies, but Trump can't keep his mouth shut. And we don't need to serve up a softball to the Democrats and they're going to make a villain of him no matter what he does. And he's done that to himself. So, if he can win the primary, fine, I may support him. But if I end the primary right now, I'm supporting DeSantis. His track record and his class speak for themselves. And I'm sorry, ain't no skeletons coming out of his background. Nothing we're going to have to deal with. And here's something that really pissed me off. Here's what you said, man. If I were the governor of Florida, I would not allow any Floridian to be hauled before some George Soros-backed prosecutor in some blue oval politics city. And I wouldn't make an exception not to protect the president of the United States, Getz said. You know something, Matt? If Alan Osborne were the congressman in this district, I'd be bearing down like crazy with the feds and the state and pressure on the state to get rid of these corrupt people we have around here. Maybe DeSantis will come into your district and clean it up too, because if you're listening, Governor, we got some corrupt ass people here, and Matt was going to clean them up, but maybe he needs your guidance to show him that you're no impersonator, that you know how to clean up corruption, and you know how to do it without pissing everybody off with a bad tweet. Now, I could use some cheaper gas, but I don't need some people just attacking people in the party who've done great things, and our governor has done great things for us. Is he perfect? No. Do I agree with everything he says? Oh, hell no. Probably wouldn't agree with everything anybody said. That's what makes us unique. But in general, I'd say he's batting about 650, 700 in the big leagues, and he ain't no impersonator. So we need to get that straight. So moving on from the state, so I'm with you, Governor. Run your best race. If Trump can't beat you just on what he is, and he has to use ugly words instead of your track record and his own track record, then we got problems in our party. Hell, that don't make us no better than Democrats. And speaking of Democrats, looky here, you locals in the Defuniak race, look, it's Mr. Burns from Bart Simpson. It's Matt Carpenter and all his family jumping on Facebook to defend him. Well, Mac the Democrat is running for city council. And if you don't want Barker the Crook, who's being sued as your permanent city administrator, because that's what Mac is vowing to do. Yeah, Mac's a big time Democrat. He works in the planning department at Walton County, and he has told more lies and got us into more lawsuits. And Mac, if you want to sue me for it, I'll be glad to show the lies to anybody. The reason you won't sue me and that you're a gutless coward is because the things I say about you are 100% true. You should be voting for Amy Hevlin. I don't even know her, but I know what Mac is, and I know how bad Defuniak looks right now. Come on, people of Defuniak. Do you want to be known as this backwards? Do you want this sorry Democrat to come in there and put a guy who's quit 35 or 40 jobs in as your permanent city manager because he owes him a favor? It's his old boss. Haven't you had enough of that crap? Mac, you ain't worth a damn. Everybody in Mac Bayou should want you indicted, Mac. Mac has lied about the Sandestin compliance along with some county engineers and some other key staff people in code enforcement. And this is his reward. He's getting supported in the Defuniak Airport big debacle. I'll explain that one night again, but you don't want this fool. Just think of Mr. Burns, the Democrat. Doesn't he look like a Biden guy? Don't you wait for him to mumble something? Doesn't he look like he's deviant? Because he is, in my opinion. This is who not to vote for. Make fun of anybody you meet from Defuniak if this guy ends up on the board. This is not what you want. This reeks of corruption. Mac got his job before because he didn't have a job. Yeah, go check out Mac's history. He has to have some government work because this man ain't coming to work, to be honest. Ask the Horsepower Pavilion and people like that who are out there working for a living about this food. You can't make this shit up on the Alan Osborne Show. And we know what the problem is in this county. Hey, DeSantis, if you're looking for the problems, they look like this and this. And our legislative liaison, this. That's right. So if y'all are looking for the problem, it starts with the word and the letter Atkinson. A. What's the letter of the day? Atkinson. Who causes all the problems in Walton County? Atkinson. Who won't enforce the law? Atkinson. Who breaks the laws? Atkinson. And who supports all this? Friends of Atkinson. That's right. You can't make this up on the Alan Osborne Show, but you can elect a better governor, or excuse me, a better president with our governor, and somebody that probably will not piss everybody off. Maybe he can actually unite some people. I love Trump policies, but the person, he needs an overhaul, Mr. President. You're not taking us anywhere, I don't think, except to a big fight, and we need a better America. And that's the way it is on the Alan Osborne Show. Y'all keep them straight out there. It's frightening what's going on. They can't keep themselves straight. Till next time. See you then.